Hello again. I'm Trish, and it's a good thing that I stopped when I did on Love It to Death because I was already at 8 minutes, and this one I cannot do under 10 minutes. Killer. Oh my god, so I'm going to try again. Killer came out in 1971 at the very end. That means in 1971 he had 5 total hits. On Love It to Death it was I'm 18 and Is It My Body? And Killer, which followed shortly after, Under My Wheels, Be My Lover, and Desperado. 5 hits in 1 year, after having 2 albums that had absolutely no hits at all. I mean, that's pretty big. So I'm going to dive right into it because I'm trying to hit all the points that I want to hit in under 10 minutes. Under My Wheels is very much not really a poppy song. It's lighter, but the lyrics of it kind of alludes to what I always think of. You know, a woman that he's dating that will not leave him alone, only wants to be with him, and is driving him crazy to the point where, he has this illusion of running her over. And at the same time, this is very open to interpretation, and that's just what I always think of. But it's a very good song. It's it's upbeat, but kind of, dastardly at the same time. Be My Lover, being the next song, was another attempt at sexuality, which for the time, it was very sexual. Excuse me. It was very sexual. Nowadays, not so sexual because, we have, local pop stations will play some stuff that, should not be played on the radio, I don't think. But it is. And Be My Lover was definitely, for the time, very sexual, which I think is the reason why it's a hit. But it's a very good song. So the next song we're going to move on to is Halo of Flies. I love Halo of Flies. Oh my god. I loved it ever since I got this album. It's been one of my favorites. In fact, I can basically say that it is my favorite song on this album, with a couple of really close seconds. But Halo of Flies is kind of like, it's very intelligent. There's a lot of instrumentation to it. It's an 8-minute song. Like I said, he loved doing long songs. But there's like a minute and a half of instrumentation, and then there's like 2 minutes of vocalization, and the rest of it's instrumentation, basically. But the vocalization in this is so intelligent and so grabbing that you allow the instrumentation because it's, it just helps along with what is being said. And at first it seems really nonsensical, but if you think about it, it's pretty cool because it's kind of about a spy-ish kind of thing. And in 2005, he revamps this and brings it into light as a Chinese assassin kind of song, which is really cool. Actually, that was something that his daughter Calico was helping him work out. It was very good, like theatrical kind of song when they did it. The next song we're going to be covering is Desperado. This was the last hit on the album, and it was very much an Old West with the soft guitar kind of thing. It's not like a Western song. It was, very soft guitar, very, flowy, kind of like, Old West criminal bleeding his heart out, almost, something like that. You Drive Me Nervous and Yeah, I'm going to do together because they are the weak point of the album. They're both nonsensical. It's another one of those, like the first 2 albums where it felt like the instrumentation and the lyrics were fighting. Like the vocalization and instrumentation were having a fight. That being said, they're still very fun songs. Like, they're fun to listen to. They're fun to, kind of sing along with. But they're definitely the weak point in this album. And then the last 2 songs I have to spend quite some time on, which is why I'm trying to get to them. Dead Babies. Yes, I said Dead Babies. A lot of people out there in the world who are anti-Alice Cooper, not just, I don't like Alice Cooper, but anti-Alice Cooper. One of the reasons is for Dead Babies, and I think it's because they don't openly understand it. One big interpretation of the song is that he, like, people will say, oh, well, he's just advocating, kids, child abuse and child neglect. He's not advocating it. He was bringing it to a light that people would wake up, He was advocating against it. At least that's an interpretation. I mean, if you talk to, if you hear any Alice Cooper interview, he'll tell you that, he wasn't putting any politics or any views into it. He was just having fun. But that being said, this is a pretty open statement of, and it's a shocking song. It's one of those songs that, after I first listened to it, it was one of those where I just sat back and went, whoa, like, it was one of those where it felt like an eye-opener, and it really was. And it's a very good song, though. I mean, Dead Baby is one of those songs where it's dreary, it's, kind of dastardly undertoned, and then you hear the lyrics, and it kind of shocks you to the point where you do, like, open your eyes, But, a lot of anti Alice Cooper people will tell you that, well, this is one of the reasons why, he's a bad guy. And later on, there's a personal story of his that I'm going to tell with another song that he did, and a lot of it is because of songs like this that he had done. So the next song is Killer. Now, in 1971, Dead Babies and Killer were not generally accepted as good songs, unless you were really already an Alice Cooper fan. Then it's like, coming off of Ballad of Dwight Fry, these two songs were like gold. But in the normal populace, these were not highly accepted. Killer is the first time you see Alice Cooper kill himself on stage. Like, the first time he is killed on stage. And this was with Being Hung. Like, he would play this song after Dead Babies, and, like, this was like when theatrics of his were still in their developing stages, and, he'd have an executioner come out and, tie him up and put him on the noose and hang him towards the end of the song. And it's a very criminalistic kind of song. Like, it's a bad guy talking about how, I gave it everything, Someone put this gun in my hand and I just took it, And so, and then again, with both of these songs, it's like vocalization and then quite a long instrumentation. For Killer, though, the instrumentation was used for, like, dramatic effect to bring him up to killing himself, or having himself killed. And this is the first time, in fact, in 1972, there's a calendar poster somewhere, for 1972 that has him hanging as one of the pictures, and I think that is so cool. But, Killer, Dead Babies and Killer is one of those songs where you have to listen to them back to back. Like, anytime, these are not songs you can put on, like, random, because if you hit one, you gotta hit the other one. If you hit Dead Babies, you have to listen to Killer. But, okay, overall, as a whole, Killer is a great album. Some people dispute it as his best album with, the entire band, the original Alice Cooper band. Some people dispute that as his greatest album. I'm not sure if I'd go ahead and go on record on saying that, because purely by hit-wise, there is one album that's greater with the original Alice Cooper band. We'll discuss that later. But overall, it's a very tight album. You Drive Me Nervous and Yeah, Yeah, Yeah are definitely the weak points. If they weren't there, the CD would be a lot shorter, but there would be a definite flow to the album. Those two kind of mess up the flow, I think. But overall, a very good album. Very worth a listen. And this still, like, if you're just starting out as an Alice Cooper fan who's listened to, School's Out or $1 Billion Babies or, Elected or something like that, I wouldn't start with this album. Actually, for anyone who's starting out, they can do what I did. I got the greatest hit. I started off with the greatest hits. Monsters and Mascara was the album that I started with. And it had 21 hits, all from, like, the 70s. And it was basically all the 70s hits. And it was, it was awesome. It was a good compilation album. And then I went back and got all the albums that it was on and found all this great music that they did not put in. So, I mean, if you really want to start off, like, listening to the hits and stuff, that's the way I would go. If you're looking for a decent, tight album, we haven't hit one yet, but I will let you know when we do. There's tight albums, like Love It to Death was tight, Killer was tight, but they had their flaws. And, not to say that, he put out a perfect album, but there's one that's pretty darn good. So anyway, I hope this one's under 10 minutes, and that I hit everything that I wanted to. If not, I will try this again. Thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and see you later. Bye.